Across India, big cities and small towns, more young couples are choosing to live together without marriage. And now the court seem to have given a ray of hope for women who live in relationships. They could be now looked at or given the status of a wife. Many big cities and small towns in India have live-in couples living together for many, many years. Society is still adjusting to it, certainly. Indian laws haven't really caught up to it. But it seems like the Madras bench of the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court made a judgment today that gives a ray of hope to millions of women in India. On January 21st, 26, Justice S. Srimati has spoken about how vulnerable women can become in a relationship. In fact, Justice S. Srimati had said in her judgment there that women who are in a live-in relationship are often vulnerable. The judge called live-in relationships a cultural shock for Indian society, but also admitted that they are now very common. The court has noted that many women enter live-in relationships thinking it's modern and equal, but later then realize that they don't get the legal protection that marriage automatically provides. So the judge suggested that in suitable cases, women in live-in relationships could be treated like a wife under the old Indian concept of Gandharva marriage, a consensual love marriage recognized in tradition. These remarks came during a case where a man was accused of having an intimate relationship by promising her marriage and then backed out, raising a bigger question: what happens to the woman then when such relationships break down? After years of living together, the man decides to walk away. What then? Now, legally speaking, live-in relationships are not illegal in India. The Supreme Court has repeatedly said two consenting adults have the right to live in. It falls under the right to life and personal liberty. But India still has no proper law that clearly defines live-in relationships, or as it would define a live-in relationship. India does not have clear laws that clearly would define live-in relationship like the way marriage does, marriage laws do. Still, courts have given some protection. Under the Domestic Violence Act 2005, women in a relationship in the nature of marriage can seek protection, residence rights and compensation. In some cases, women may also seek maintenance. Children born from live-in relationships are treated as legitimate and get legal rights. But unlike marriage, live-in relationships or live-in partners do not automatically get inheritance rights or full spousal benefits. Most protections really depend on how long the relationship lasted and how it's proved in court. India's courts do support the freedom to cohabit, but they also acknowledge that many women are left unprotected when things fall apart. Even globally, common law marriage exists only in a few places like some US states. The UK does not recognize it fully. Singapore does not either. So should really India create a clearer legal framework now to protect partners in live-in relationships? And is this judgment today a step forward? Let me bring in our panelists joining us for a little more clarity on what this means, if this is certainly a very forward-thinking judgment coming in from an Indian court. Let's introduce Nupur Maharaj, who's a lawyer joining us with the Delhi High Court. We also have Brinda Arige, women's rights activist, and also Dr. Charu Walikhanna, who's an author, former member of the NCW, and also Satish Kumar, who's an activist and also an advocate at the Madras High Court, where the judgment has come in. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. Brinda, as a woman, let me start with you. I know you've seen all kinds of marital breakdowns and women there receiving the raw end of the stick. Here, two consenting adults living together, the reason to why two people want to live together is because there's no commitment. Otherwise they would have gotten married. But they choose not to get married, but just to have a live-in relationship so that they decide after a few years whether they're compatible and want to go ahead. But here the court says you can get the status of a wife. That's huge. Is that positive in your view?
Absolutely positive. This is a progressive judgment that has come from the Madras High Court. When the law recognizes a child born of such a relationship, and that woman will be known as the mother of this child, what does that man be known as? Father? So now the only part of it is, am I wife and are you husband? So here, when the court is saying that they want to give the status of a wife to this woman because of the patriarchal society that we live in, because of our cultural taboos that we have put, the court also has very, very strongly come out with this whole concept that requires to be recognized. The Gandharva marriages. I mean, this is something, it's not new. It's been in our culture, it's been in a part of our custom for ages. So
Because
somewhere along the
you're
line, we all
talking about
became
the modern
prudish.
concept. It's very tricky because we're talking about modern concept of live-in on one end, and on the other end you're talking about Gandharva marriage. So don't you think this is a slippery slope? It's unclear category there and could be misused.
I don't think we should stand and go from the premise of misuse. When a judgment of this nature comes, I'm sure a lot of thought has gone into this judgment. It could not be something that has come out offhand. And there is a lot of investigation that goes into it, and the public prosecutor making an established argument before the court, after which the court decides, okay. Because if you look at the Domestic Violence Act, like you pointed out, the woman can report and complain about her intimate partner, and the intimate partner violence is taken, it is cognizable, it is accepted by the court, and you can seek redress. So when all of this is there, what does the wife part of it mean? Does it mean that you might get something from your from his insurance and LIC, or the health benefits, or from his property? I think, and those places the court will say no, you may not get all of these things. But looking at it from a wife, as a wife, the perspective it comes from is to say, you cannot now say, I had a relationship with you, now I don't think I like you because my family has fixed a marriage, so I'm getting married over there. That is a premise from where the court is coming from, and I think that is very, very progressive.
I just feel, and when two people are living together because they want to check compatibility, to be giving the status of a wife to the lady is slighting the man also to a certain extent. I don't know. I mean, just probably if I could bring in Dr. Charu, who's also been the member of the National Commission of Women. Ms. Charu, your take, Dr. Charu. Why don't you tell us the number of women who have felt abandoned? The cases that may have come to you, that you may have dealt with directly, do you believe this is progressive, or could this just be binding a man, and could be unfair on a man here?
The judgment is highly contradictory. On one hand, she says she's talking about Gandhar Vivah. Gandhar Vivah was a legitimate kind of recognized form of marriage. Maybe it was not a kind of marriage which was considered very good, but Gandhar Vivah was a form of marriage. So how can you equate a relationship with a marriage? And as far as the woman is concerned, because the judge has also spoken about women being vulnerable in relationships, I don't know what kind of vulnerability she's talking about, but undoubtedly there is, there's a zero tolerance for violence. In no intimate relationship, whether you're a wife, you're not a wife, whether you're a girlfriend, whether you're a live-in partner, violence should be tolerated against a woman. So for that, you very much have the Protection of Women against the Domestic Violence Act, against domestic violence, and that act protects women who are in a shared house. Not like if you're having random one or two night sexual encounters. If you're living with a
Right, sexual
person
encounters.
in a
This is a
shared
proper.
household,
This is and I'm sure there must be some definition to a live-in relationship. How long are you living together? That will also be viewed by court if.
Yes.
Right.
see,
It's not.
that will be viewed by court, but in India, we don't have the length. They just talk about shared household. And that means that you have a common kitchen. Whether you're living with a joint family in the common kitchen or you're just living as male and female. And nowadays, young couples are, experimenting. It's better that they live together. In my opinion, I don't think we should equate sex with marriage. Sex is about pleasure.
But if
If you're
this
It's
is
seeing
not
not
about
marriage as a
sex
sacred
alone. It's about a
union,
live-in relationship. It's not about sex alone, ma'am.
no, if you're seeing marriage as a sacred relationship, then you should not have got into a relationship without marriage. But now that you have, it is about pleasure. and
Okay.
you're trying out your compatibility. If you're trying out your compatibility, the girl also has the option that it doesn't work out. I think it's better that they try out their compatibility rather than getting married, and then the cases are there in the courts where parents have forced girls to get into marriages, and then they're filing cases of domestic violence or 498A criminal cases. I think if want to talk about, I'm not talking about women who are from the lower sex strata of society, because in this judgment, she specifically said modern relationships. So when she's talking about modern relationships, then you have to think more progressively. The person who's getting into the relationship. And you can't equate that if I have sex with this person or I stay, he is compelled to marry. How can you compel a person to marry them? I mean, I think it's very contradictory.
Okay,
Either you be
Brinda, I will
modern.
come to you, the only man on the panel before I go to Nupur as well. Let's bring in the man on the panel. Satish Kumar, sir, it's you practice at the Madras High Court. That's where the Madurai bench has given this verdict. Why don't you tell us a little more on what ripples did this verdict really send out?
Good evening to everyone. Basically, the matter is on an anticipatory bail. Okay, I think we have to see the facts of the case and where the judgment has come out. As it is a matter of anticipatory bail, so the accusation against a man was made in this matter, and based on the prosecution's submission, the order was passed. So, especially in the case of living together relationship, as it is not defined so far very clearly in India, this has to be seen only on the case-to-case basis. So we cannot generalize what has been stated today as a Gandhar Vivah or it is a modern marriage. This modern marriage, because in this case or maybe on the previous cases also, whether it has been defined, whether it is coming under the definition or the umbrella of living together, that fully depends on the qualification or maybe the person's background of both men and women. Their background is very, very important, sensitive in all the aspects. In case a person who cheats a woman who is not much educated, was kept in dark about the person's background or something like that, then the issue is totally different. When they are having a knowledge about each other very clearly, then they are living together. The women just like that cannot complain against a man as if that he has cheated him. So this is quietly, it depends on case-to-case basis. That's what I personally I feel. And naming it as a Gandharva Vivah, I don't agree with that, because one way you are seeing this as a modern type of living, in other way you are saying it is a traditional thing. If you say it is Gandharva Vivah, then there is another Vivah called Rakshasa Vivah. So then at one point of time the question of Rakshasa Vivah also will come, which means that a man can abduct a woman and marry. So will you give recognition to that also as a cultural matter? So that is not possible. So I am giving Gandhar Vivah is a totally different concept where the man and woman, they come to an understanding, exchanging the ring. In the case of Dushyant and Shakuntala, it was a perfect understanding between them. And later point of time, Dushyant cheated Shakuntala. That was the story what we have seen so far. So unless otherwise there is a consensus between them, and they lived for a period of to some extent maybe a month or maybe a year and so far, that is not defined in our law so far. So it fully depends on case-to-case basis whether this can be considered as a living together or not, whether the woman is deliberately giving a complaint against the man or not.
Case-to-case basis, but this will be, this is certainly set precedent already. So there will be many more to come going forward, because increasingly the concept of marriage is losing its significance. People are opting for live-in relationships, but there should be some kind of protection for the woman also.
No, here the question of protection of for women, that's what I'm saying, that comes, then in that case, in case of a living together, then you have to see the protection of men also. Because as a man, I'm not saying like this. So when you say living together, both are at par. So in that case, you have to give protection to man also. In case the man is cheated by a woman, then where he stands, where she stands.
Correct.
That also to be seen.
No, undoubtedly.
So, exactly. So in a marriage, in case it is coming under, because it is legalized we have a Hindu Marriage Act and Special Marriage Act. There are for other religion also there is a marriage acts where the liabilities, legal duties are clearly defined, and
So,
even
so,
the
so,
procedures of
do we
marriage is
need a
also
separate
defined.
cohabitation law then? Do we need a separate cohabitation law? Nupur, if I can bring you in on that.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. In case when our society started giving recognition for living together naturally, then maybe under the concept of Gandhar Vivah or some other Vivah, we have to give due recognition. It requires a set of procedural law is required. Unless otherwise a set of law is given, you cannot give recognition for this at all.
Okay.
And this is to be
Okay.
misused.
Okay.
It is getting misused.
Let me
And
bring in Nupur
one
as
day,
well. I'll come to you, sir. Nupur, why don't you give us a little more on the fact that live-in relationship happen because people want to avoid marriage, but at the same time you have women who are vulnerable. They want to get into it, hoping that it would turn out to be something. You know, a lot of times it's largely prolonged because I'm not saying always, but most of the time, or maybe a lot of times. I wouldn't say most also. I wouldn't give a benefit of doubt to the man as well. But a lot of times the man says, we will get married in a couple of years. Let's live in together for a little while. After 2025, after 2026, another 2 years after I get this promotion. So the woman is just really left hanging, you know, and there should be some kind of protection as well. But at the same time, this is exactly why people live in, because they don't have the burden and responsibility of marriage. So how do you tactfully view both these aspects?
Absolutely, Nabila. I think it's a great step forward. And this is not just the first time that courts have come up with a view like this. Uh, so, a separate cohabitation law would be an overstretch in a situation like this, because you can package these kind of relationships in, under different labels, all that you want. But the nuances of a relationship where a man and a woman is involved remains the same. And this is not the first time that the court has come up with a judgment like this. If you'll permit me, since these rights are of a woman, these relationships are in the nature of marriage, and there are strict guidelines by the Honorable Supreme Court, also laid down in 2013, where the Honorable Supreme Court has considered what falls under the category of nature of marriage. So there are a complete set of guidelines that are already there. And once you look at those guidelines, it will become apparently clear that why we don't need a separate law for this, and why women need to be protected under the current legislation itself. Why? Because now let's go through what are these guidelines that the Supreme Court has given. One of the first guideline is relationship duration. As we have already spoken on this panel, that a significant period of time which may vary on a case-to-case basis. And of course, it's very subjective. So we can today, of course, say that it's very subjective and we don't know what the duration of this could be. So certainly it'll vary on a case-to-case basis.
Right.
But there are other guidelines which will then, strategize it more.
Yeah.
Such as a shared household. A shared household where the person who's aggrieved has lived or still lives in a household with the man or without the man, where perhaps the cohabitation is happening. Then another one is pooling in resources and financial arrangements together. When a couple comes together, a man and a woman comes together to pool in their finances and then to live a life together. The man materially, if you see, provides for a woman.
Yeah.
And then woman sort of gathers it all together and then, builds a home for him, cooks for him, cleans for him. So if a woman is involved in the activities which are ideally in a shared household, that's also one of the guidelines that the Supreme Court has to determine whether a live-in relationship is in the nature of a marriage. Another guideline is domestic arrangement. What all responsibilities does the woman have? Is she running the home for him? Is she cooking for him? Are there shared activities that the couple is doing together? How long are they living together? All of these considered by the Supreme Court already.
So this is already, it already defines then, so then that case to case basis, like Satish also said, if you really look at the guidelines given and put in place by the Supreme Court, then very well the lady in this particular case stands within her right to ask for a status.
Absolutely. Where will she go, otherwise? Where will she go? Today, you come into these kind of relationships because this is what the modern setup is. And if you come in these relationships, would you wait for a legislation to happen? The jurisprudence is already developed by the Honorable Supreme Court in time over and over again in different matters, starting 1978.
So then you don't need a separate law at all. It's already existing. Brinda, you were saying.
Now there was another committee that was set up.
Yeah.
For reforming of the
Prabha,
criminal
you
justice
can
system.
register these relationships. In fact, it's mandatory to register under the new UCC law.
Okay. If you register these relationships, you're saying you
You
have
have
better
to
protection.
register them.
You have better protection then?
I assume so.
Yeah. Brinda, you were saying?
Yeah, I was only wanting to respond to the other panelists who kept talking about when you want to stay together to have sex, when that is not live-in. Live-in, like Nupur explained, case to case, of course, is the significant amount of time that you've spent. And even in a live-in relationship, there is a lot of other emotions. There are a lot of other shared activities that are done, shared decisions that are taken. And like you pointed out, Nabila, the man is the one who always says, wait, we will get married. Because no matter which couple that is in India just now, 90 to 95% of them do a lot of thinking in live-in relationships to have a child. In their head, those patriarchal norms are still there, saying, let's have a child once we get married. So when can we get married? My biological clock is ticking. So all of this has to be considered. It is not misuse. 498A live-in relationship cannot invoke it because it is only cruelty in marriage. So marriage as defined by my law. But all other protection and all other safety clauses can be invoked by this woman who is living in this relationship. And I think that is why the Madras High Court's Justice Srimati's judgment is so very progressive in this age and time right now, and there is no need for us to have any new law. Cohabitation, we are two adults, so you don't need a law to cohabit, but it is a live-in relationship which goes beyond cohabitation,
Right.
and that is what we want to
Satish,
ask to
as I'm
women are
ending
safe
here.
or not.
No. First of all, we should also understand, as my co-panelist said, the Supreme Court has not given a guidelines, though it is stated as a guidelines. It's only a broad idea is given by Supreme Court. What can be, what could be come under the umbrella, or maybe an idea of living together. For example, if you say that wife is, the woman is cooking, in case the man is also cooking, in case both are giving the finance, then
Shared household,
they
sir.
are at
Shared
par
household.
only.
Shared household.
Shared
Really?
household, sir.
No, I'll come to that point. I'll come to you. You are saying that duration. How we can define duration? Presuming you are saying it's 2 years. The man leaves at the 18th. Maybe at before the end of the second year. Where we go then? And even to give a child, 1 month is enough, or 2 months is more than enough to cheat a woman. So in that case, can you say it is a living together relationship? So there is, unless otherwise, a clear-cut law is made, or if and even now also the living together is neither said as illegal nor it is stated as legal, but it says it is not illegal. Does not mean that it is legal. Still, there is a shadow behind it, and there is
I
no
thought
clarity
India has come a
of
long
question.
way by recognizing live-in
We are not
relationships.
discussing
India is
the
recognizing live-in
legalities of
relationships.
When you are recognizing, I'm coming, I'll tell you, when you are started recognizing living together and at par with the marriage, then the liability, the rights are also becoming equal. That's what I want
So
to
that's what the
emphasize
Madras
once
High
again.
Court has done today, sir, that they've recognized live-in relationship equal to marriage. That's big.
No, but the liability is here, it's a bail petition where it has been questioned against a man. Please understand, that's why I said initially, in what case it has been stated, whether the protection has been given to the man or not. The prosecution says he cheated the woman. There only the matter comes up. Then at the when the matter has come before the anticipatory bail, he states that it is a living together relationship. So what
Okay.
has been stated in the FIR, we don't know.
Okay,
Unless
okay,
otherwise
okay.
come to
A
know
final
about the
word,
FIR.
Ms. Dr. Charu?
I just feel that a wife has to, you don't strip her of her status, whether her legal status as a wife, whether it's in terms of her rights to the property, to insurance, to relationships, she definitely
Exactly.
has to stand on a superior footing.
That's it.
Unlike a live-in relationships where you have no liability, no accountability,
So,
and
so
you
you're
can
saying
walk
it's
in and
unfair
walk
to
out at
equate
any
it to,
time.
you're saying it's unfair to equate it to a marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Nupur, I'll end
Absolutely.
with you as I'm terribly short on time.
Marriage as an institution, ladies, that we already understand it's failing in this country. And even if you're not going to the extent of curtailing their rights to live together, that's the modern way of having a relationship with someone. We cannot
Then why call
question.
yourself a
question.
wife? If you're in
You
a
cannot
modern democratic
question their
relationship, you
choices
live, you
today to live
stay
in a
away.
cohabitation, to live in a live-in relationship, which is well recognized.
All
Which is
most
well-
parts of the world it is recognized, and isn't it, Brinda?
Yes, so amend the present law, remove wife and say partner.
Yeah.
Done.
But protection should be there. Legal protection should be there equally.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And in
We
fact,
cannot
we
go
should be
on saying
discussing
liability to
palimony
the
now.
man versus the safety and protection to the woman. Which weighs more? Is it the liability of you paying me a couple of rupees as whatever,
Yes.
or the safety of this
In
woman,
case the
where
women
you are
or
going to
man,
say
if they are
all
already
kinds
married,
of things?
if
Liability.
they are already
All
married,
of
think
us
we
know.
should
All of
now
us know
we
it is
should
less
now
than
be
less
discussing
than
palimony.
5% of false cases in court. So let's. I'm not saying it is not important, but we still want to worry about the 95%.